some of you who have noisy crow, some of you who have installed the jib on your Hobie Wave have expressed some concern that sometimes your jib doesn't sit right, sometimes it luffs and it just goes a bit funny and a bit baggy. Well, I'm going to show you some modifications that you can do to fix this. Now, this video assumes that you've seen my other video called Hobie Wave Jib or Hobie Wave Modifications to Go Faster. Both those videos talk about modifications that you can make to your jib, and you probably need to have a look at those to see what you can do in the first place. But because this video talks about adding some bits to your forestay, I'm going to go back a little bit and show the little pieces that you need to add to your forestay to attach your jib in the first place. So let's get going. So what you've got once you've set your mast up is your forestay either side coming up to a point here. Now, I've got a forestay adjuster on mine, but you don't need that. But it all ends in a point here, and we're going to use this point here to attach some extra bits of forestay to help your jib keep its shape. So let's get back to the start. If you've got a spreader bar with your jib kit, you might be tempted to attach your jib to the front of the bar, just on here, or don't. I'll show you another way to attach your jib. You need to attach some new forestays. Now, this forestay is approximately 840 centimetres. So you need one on one side, and you're going to need another one on this side, and you're going to join them in the middle with a shackle. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could attach this jib forestay in here, but I don't like the idea of putting additional pressure on this mounting here, because this is actually holding up your mast and is under a fair amount of strain. If you don't mind actually boring just a couple of small holes through your hull, it's very thick here. I've had these here now for 5 years and there's been no distortion of the hull. So what you need is 2 additional forestays each side. We're just going to get a shackle, and we're just going to join those like that. Okay, and that is what your jib is going to attach to. So when your jib is on, it's going to be attached down to here. Now, at this stage, we'll put up the jib, and I'll show you where the problems occur. Now, just before I put up the jib, I'll just show you what I've got on the bottom of my jib. Is just a clip like that, which goes into this shackle here. I find the best way to get the jib line really tight is to firstly pull it down tight and put it in a cleat, and then halfway up the halyard line you've got a shackle with a wheel. Just take your, so at the moment we've got a 1-to-1 downhaul, which is not very tight. So get the end of your halyard line, put it down through the wheel, pull it down, and then take it out of your cleat, pull it down. You're actually getting now a 3-to-1, and put it in the cleat. Now your halyard line for your jib is really nice and tight, which is what you want. So there we have our jib. These lines are nice and tight, and what we've done is we've clipped the jib all the way up. Okay? Now, but what happens is this area here is sort of flapping around in the breeze. Now to overcome this flapping around in the breeze, I've made up an extra piece of forestay, and that's going to come from this point on your forestay down to your jib line. Now don't make it come right down to the end. You can get this made up in a in your local sail shop, but I made this one up myself. I've got a swaging tool, allows you to put these ends on. So I just made this, and then I thread it through, just thread it down through here a few times, back up through here, down here, so that you can get a fair amount of purchase on that to get it nice and tight. Okay, so there you got it nice and tight. Just thread that around through there, and just, you don't want to tie too many knots, because at some stage you might want to undo it, either lengthen it or tighten it up a bit more. So now, having done that, so now what we've done is put a line from here down to here. Now that means that we can attach our jib. I just have to loosen it off so that I can attach it. So in my other videos where I've talked about having the clips on the front of your jib to attach it to your forestay, you're now going to have to add an extra clip to attach the jib to your new piece of forestay that you've just added. So that goes in there like that. Pull our jib line tight, and there you have got this now nice and tight. You might want to do this up a bit tighter so that it's not going to flap around in the breeze. That way you've stopped your jib from moving around in this area. That's nice and tight. Now you notice these are a bit loose. That's because at the moment I haven't got the mainsail cranked up tight. You would have done that first. Now because I'm only mucking around with the jib, I haven't done the mainsail. But before you really do any of this, you need to get your mainsail up and set properly. You know, crank down, get the side stays as tight as you can, and get these stays here as tight as you can. So I should have said that first, to actually get your mainsail up and get these tight first. Okay, and then get up your jib. Now obviously this is a setup without a spreader bar. I've never sailed a boat with a jib without the spreader bar. But one of the things about the Hobie is that it is made of rotomolded plastic, so it does tend to bend. Now, having even just put on this jib, I'll show you how much the front of the hulls have moved in. Now having got the spreader bar in place, you can see that spreader bar would normally be there, and it's now moved into here. So these hulls have actually moved in. Now, for those of you who don't sail with a spreader bar, let me show you what is going to happen when you sail. You've got a whole lot of wind in your mainsail, which would be pulling on this forestay and this forestay and on this forestay. So those hulls can move in quite a lot. If they move in, it's going to affect the front of this jib. It's going to move in and out. It's not going to sit nice and tight and steady. Now for those of you who have got a spreader bar, I'll show you the additional things that you can do to make your jib even tighter, and also to make that spreader bar nice and solid so you can mount a GoPro mount on the front. So firstly, I'll attach the spreader bar, and then I'll get back to the additional bits of the forestay. Now, one way that you can make this point even more stable is by using this little point here, which Hobie would have initially expected you to attach your jib to, which is now just sitting here. You can get a turnbuckle, and this is just one I had in the shed, which happened to be closed at one end and open the other. I find it easy to have the closed bit down through here, and then the open bit you just move up and lift up and just put into the shackle, so the turnbuckle sits there. Now you can tighten up your turnbuckle, which then stops this from rotating, which is good if you want to mount your GoPro on the front. So there you have it. This is the ultimate setup for your jib. Your jib is really tight here. It goes right up the front forestay, right up to the top, and is held in place really, really well. So, just very quickly to recap the pieces that we've added, is this forestay here, this one here, and the forestay down here with the turnbuckle on the bottom. I hope that's given you some ideas about how to stop your jib from flapping in the breeze. But I suppose the thing to sort of really think about is that Hobie Waves were made to be a recreational boat and made to be taken apart, which means that if you look at the hulls on each side of the front beam, the hulls, as in most catamarans, the hulls are bolted on. On the Hobie, they just go through holes in the side of the hull. So it's not a very rigid boat. So sometimes when the seas get a bit rough and the boat's moving up and down, the whole hull can flex quite a bit. And if you haven't got a spreader bar, these front hulls can sort of go in and out quite a bit, and it's going to affect your jib. Having this here and having the side stays, you've got the triangular shape, and you've got a very tight, neat area to attach your jib, so you'll get a really nice shape. So, I hope you have fun on your Hobie Wave.